So I wanted to share some a recap, some memories, some points of note from last weekend's 50 kilometre Gold Coast Running Festival on the Sunday the 28th of November. It's the third time that I've done the event now. It's the second time I've done the 50 kilometre event, but it's the third time I've attended the event. In 2018 I did the 30 kilometre event, which at the time was the longest distance I had ever run up until that point. And then in 2020, so last year, I did my first 50 kilometre event, which again at the time was the furthest I've ever run. And then this year just gone, the weekend just gone, I did the 50 kilometre event again. What is probably the biggest thing I'm going to take away from the day is the fact that I finished the 50 kilometres in 5 hours and 48 minutes, which previously the year before I finished in 6 hours and 26 minutes. So more than half an hour off my time. So really thrilled with that. Most of that has just come from fitness. I've been running just over sort of two to 3 years now consistently, and that a lot of that is just coming from fitness and building up that aerobic capacity and getting more experience at long distance events and being able to tolerate that pain in your legs as you're going along. But the other small part of the improvement that I would definitely attribute that to is experience. So I think it's that being able to tolerate that pain in your legs and knowing that it's coming and knowing that you've gotten through it before and knowing that you'll get through it again. It's experience with your nutrition and your hydration, so knowing when to eat, how often to eat, what to eat, and likewise with what you're drinking and your hydration and some of those things, which can vary, which can be variables depending on the weather, depending on the season, depending on the time of year, and all those sorts of things, and how you're feeling as well. So, but last but not least is probably experience on the track. Knowing the course, knowing the track, knowing the checkpoints, knowing the aid stations, knowing where the bathrooms are, all of those sorts of things really played a part in being more prepared for the event this year. So for example, it is a 50 kilometre race, so it's 12.5 kilometres out and 12.5 kilometres back makes up the first 25 kilometres, and then you've essentially got to do it again. So on that third leg, which is between 25 to 37.5 kilometres, when you're heading out again, at the turnaround point, you've almost completed a marathon. So in your mind, that third leg is really, really difficult. It takes a lot of motivation, it takes a lot of determination to run out again for another 12.5 kilometres after you've already finished a 25. The other thing that made it quite difficult actually was the fact that as we were finishing our 25 kilometres, so the first half of the race, those that were running the 25 kilometre race were all finishing. And this is when your legs are really starting to burn, your legs are really starting to hurt, and you're actually at the start-finish line area. So, it would be really simple to just say to yourself, you know what, well done, you've done 25 kilometres, let's pull out and enjoy the rest of the day on the Gold Coast. But you've got to head out again for another 12.5 kilometres from Coolangatta all the way back to Palm Beach. And that's a difficult leg. It gets a little bit easier when you turn around because you know that you're on the home stretch now and you know that every single step you take is getting closer to that finish line. And you get a bit of a kick, you get a bit of a momentum when you do that turnaround point at 37.5 Ks. But I knew that third leg this year was going to be really, really difficult. I found that extremely difficult last year. It was quite demoralising in some sense. Because it was just hard, really, really difficult. But I knew it was going to be difficult, so I was prepared for that this time, and was really focused and determined on making that leg as successful and as enjoyable as possible, knowing that when I finally got to that turnaround point at Palm Beach, it was 12.5 Ks back home, and it was just going to be a tremendous achievement. So look, I got a lot of satisfaction out of this one. I was really, really thrilled at the end of the race to knock off you know, nearly around 40 minutes off your best time. Was thrilling. It's still not a fast time, it's not a great time, but you know, it takes time, it takes progress. But you know, to knock 40 minutes off your previous best time is something that I took away from that race, and I'm still sort of smiling ear to ear having thought about that. But I can't dwell on it too long. I've got another trail marathon coming up this weekend. This is the first time I've done back-to-back marathons, so I'm really looking forward to that. But I much prefer the trails, I much prefer the mountains, so I'm really looking forward to the weekend. I haven't run at all this week, so you know, given the legs a bit of a chance to recover for the trail marathon that I've got on the weekend around Mount Biwa and the Glasshouse Mountains. So, but back to the Gold Coast, I'm gonna you know, share some images and those sorts of things. It was a tremendous day. It wasn't too hot like it was last year because there was a lot of cloud cover. There was a little bit of a breeze, so you know, all in all, a really lovely day running along the beaches of Gold Coast. You can't complain, and to get a personal best time and to finish the race just capped off a really great weekend. So yeah, just really wanted to share those memories, share those thoughts, share a bit of a recap. A really great event. I'm definitely going to be doing it again, and you know, thrilled to achieve the 5 hours and 48-minute time. So yeah, like I said, I've got another marathon this weekend, so I'll keep you updated on how that goes, but hopefully I've got some really exciting stuff to report from this weekend as well. Thanks for watching, really appreciate it. If you've enjoyed the video or got anything from it, please like and subscribe. Really looking forward to building the channel and being able to share my experiences, share my memories, and hopefully you'll learn a thing or two from my experience as we go along. Thank you, bye.